Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 says the attitude of Nigerians in observing the safety guidelines will determine if the country will be on lockdown again or not. With many countries announcing another wave of lockdown to slow down the spread of the disease, the task force saying if the figures continue to soar, governments may not have any other option than to enforce another lockdown. But what should Nigerians be doing now to address this situation? Adewale Ajadi, a public affairs analyst, joins me now via Skype from Abuja. Mr. Adewale, thank you very much for joining us on the news.
Well, it's a pleasure to join you.
Now, you just arrived from the United States just a few days back, and with what you witnessed there, should we be worried with this second wave of the pandemic?
Well, we should be worried, but it's from the United Kingdom. It's a grave worry. It's a very damaging virus, both to the people, the economy, complete lockdown. So if you come into Nigeria, the restrictions and the controls appear to be very good. You know, you have to take your COVID test. You have to sign up for another COVID test. You have to be isolated. So the federal government is doing all it can do to ensure compliance. The challenge is what happens when you get into the country.
Now, could you just explain what you mean by that challenge of when you get into the country?
Well, fundamentally, it doesn't appear that Nigerians believe that there's anything called COVID-19. From the limited things I've seen so far, people are going around their business as if nothing is happening. They rarely wear masks. They rarely keep social distance. So whatever government does is insignificant compared to what they do themselves. And the danger for us is that the testing numbers might be underestimating the levels of the illness in Nigeria.
And what is it now that you think that the government should begin to do? Because whether we like it or not, we must get people to understand the need to take responsibility. So speaking about that now, what practical steps should the government take now from what you've witnessed in the United States and what can be applied here in Nigeria?
Well, it's very difficult to see what government can do other than sanction. The problem with sanctions is that we have an economy that is largely informal. So if we have a shutdown, many people are going to suffer like they did the first time. And you cannot even guarantee that the End SARS protest was not catalyzed by the shutdown. So the government has to be very careful. The people don't trust the government. So there are many cautious things that the federal government is doing. The challenge is largely with the state government. The state governments have to be more active, and some of them are doing that. They have to be more creative. They have to look at ways in which to intervene. And then we certainly don't want what happened with storage of palliatives and all of that. Because if people are sure that they'll be catered for by government, maybe they will be more adaptive to what government is saying.
Well, I quite agree with you, Mr. Adewale Ajadi, public affairs analyst there. Thank you very much for speaking to us on News Now.